This meeting is being recorded. To better assist ourselves, to master ourselves, to work on ourselves, this is a time of real production. So production, almost like a movie, almost like you're being on stage, that type of attention. And the stages could be different for everyone. So the background drop, that can change. And I feel like changes are happening pretty suddenly. So there can be that feeling of vibration, that up and down, that feeling of turbulence, the feeling of anxiety, the feeling of maybe pressure or tension, intensity. So remembering to breathe, remembering to stretch, remembering mindfulness, remembering your diet, things like whatever that you can do to do well for yourself, to give yourself whatever is needed. If you need more rest, then it's going to take you to decide to go to sleep earlier. If you know that you can improve your eating, it's going to take you to make the decision on how and what you can make your improvements with. So it takes a lot of action and initiative. It brings things to attention, and some things can feel uncomfortable because, again, when you have this type of when you have this type of attention, there's like somewhat of a spotlight. And as soon as I say the spotlight, this really makes me see the sun. So how that star card is reflected, you have to remember that the sun is a star. So when you get that type of attention or you feel on type of a stage, you also have, you start thinking of your image, your energy. What are you projecting? What are you putting out there? What is on display? What are people going to see? You're thinking about not only the cover of the book, but the pages. You're thinking about the forms of expression. So when you start getting into all this thought process, there could be some challenges and difficulties. You could feel some maybe creative blocks, or you can feel stuck at times. You might have people challenge your ideas because because you're getting past how people see you and bringing out the character in you, bringing out the authentication in you. And so because you are seeing yourself and presenting yourself, others are not, they might not be used to how you see yourself, how you're embracing yourself. That can make other people feel uncomfortable because not everybody can embrace themselves the way that you are. So even somewhat, so some of us can have difficulty uh, making people feel that way because we don't have any intention to. So our intentions are not even in that direction yet. Just by being who we are, we can make people feel uncomfortable, and that can make us feel uncomfortable because what did we do? We didn't do anything. So then we get into this aspect of, wait, so should I do this or should I do that? So we have this compare and contrast going on here. And I feel like as we move into the month of August, compare and contrast could be big in different ways. It can be compare and contrast as far as somewhat of your judgment, your decisions, your thinking, this or that. It could also be somewhat of the hemispheres. So your masculine and your feminine, your left and your right, your intuitive and your logic. So this is going to be an opportunity for us to bring some things into unification or things go into separation. It's kind of like one or the other. And I feel with Cancer having a lot of influence here in the timing of July, the emotions are really what's brought to the attention. So all of this energy that we're talking about, ultimately, it really affects our emotions. It might not necessarily be emotions like, oh, I'm so emotional, but emotions like, how am I feeling? You're more, how do I feel about this? And if you're not thinking about that, you might want to. You might really want to get down to how I'm feeling about this. Now, a lot of times when you're asking yourself those questions, there's different centers, there's different chakras in you working, in your mind, your heart, your gut. All of these are different center spaces. I always say to trust in your gut. I think that everybody has to determine for themselves whether their gut is to be trusted, or are you leading with your heart, or are you really, really mental? Like what really assists you and leads you? And if I tell you to utilize your gut, is that true for you? So you can only know your experience through doing it. And after you do it, there's going to be a lot of reflection. I see this period being a lot of reflection, a lot of overview, whether this be something like in the past, you've been spending a lot of time in reflection and overview, or you're going into some type of reflection and overview. Some people, this could be the reminder to actually take time and observe, go back and observe, like look at things and take your time when you look at it. You don't have to go through it quickly. You can truly take your time, observe, grab a glass of wine, like unwind, study, watch, have fun with that energy a little bit, because you'll be surprised what you see, especially when you're patient. It's when you're patient that things are really shown to you. I do see decisions and choices being somewhat difficult. And I see this being in those centers that we're talking about. So should I lead with my heart? Should I go with my intuition, my mind, my logic, my reason? Should I go with my gut? How do I feel? So there's a lot of uncertainty, insecurity, right? And this is a lot of like internal work, because you have to review all of these center pieces. You have to see, how come I'm not trusting my gut? How come I'm questioning myself? Like, where are these questions coming from? Like, and these are the steps and the processes. This is kind of what moving forward looks like right now. This is how you know what to do, because you're doing it. And if something, as you're doing it, if you notice that there is a challenge or a discrepancy or anything where you have to question, then that's when you take space and you take your time and you observe and you watch and you are patient. Because the patience is when you really, really receive like the details. It's when it's really quiet that things like, dang, people see UFOs not when it's on and popping. They usually are in some type of space where they've been placed. So you have to put yourself in a position to be placed. You have to prepare a place to be shown. Now, as soon as I say you have to prepare a place to be shown, the devil card comes out, but it comes out with the lover's card. So there could be some relationship or partnerships that make that hard to do. It might not be a love relationship. This could just be your environment. You might have other people that cause maybe an imbalance to where you mentally feel like, man, I don't have time for that, or every time I'm thinking, or, it kind of like puts you in a different position and you feel like it's not necessarily you, but it's somebody else. It's a partner. It's something else. Right. So remember how I told you that it's going to be separation or it's going to be unification. Like, this is where you utilize the power that we've been talking about to make those decisions and choices that we're talking that we just said we're going to be coming up and moving forward. You got to call your power back to you, which we can do now. I call my power from the north, south, east, and west. We call our power from the north, south, east, and west. And we're going to continue to call back our power from the north, south, east, and west, because when we're going to utilize this power to make decisions for ourselves and really, really like, how do I feel about this? Right. And if I'm not feeling good about this, if I'm reviewing myself and I'm observing everything and I've been patient and I'm really peeping the play, then I'm going to have to make a decision. And that decision might be a little difficult. It can feel challenging. It can feel conflicting. Now, if it does, there might be things inside me where I need to detox. It's letting me know, my body's letting me know what I need to do to stabilize so that I can cultivate and empower myself to stand in position, right? And to make those decisions. So there's a level of kind of like achievement and overcoming, because when we see ourselves do that, we feel very powerful. When we're making those decisions for ourselves, going based on how we're feeling and taking that power back, it feels good. So this is a time where we can really embrace, we can build upon our strength, we can utilize the energy to do more. A lot of you can feel more energized. And so once you feel more energized and you're making those decisions for yourself, this is a time of fulfillment. You can really manifest at this time. So I will utilize this new moon in Leo to really, really set those intentions, to really, really take your time, to be patient, to observe, to watch, cultivate your power so that you can make decisions and choices for yourself without looking so much to outside partners or relationships that might affect you. The challenge is there so that spirit can see you choose you, so those people, it's not by accident that those people are there to cause you that choice, right? It's not by accident. That's there for a reason. And when you feel like, I don't know what to do, then your body, because if your gut, your heart, your mind, there's question, your body is saying, clear me out. I'll tell you, but spend time with me. So you're going to have to make a decision to do that. And when you do, Spirit's going to tell you exactly what to do. Feed me, give me more water, read a book. You're going to feel like this feeling, this decision to do well for yourself is going to project more and more energy where, again, you're going to cultivate your manifestations. This is a time to be very much in balance, and I would prepare and utilize the Libra energy. The Libra energy, I would really move into your High Priestess energy. And by doing that, sometimes you have to spend time alone. Sometimes you have to put yourself in a space of alone and solitude because you're bringing your power back to you. So when you're bringing your power back to you, you don't want to have, you don't want to be 75% in or 85% in. You want to be 100% in, and I'm bringing all my power back to me. The charger is not halfway in, it's all the way in. And what am I doing? I am charging right now. So I don't need anything, any outer source, because it's going to take energy while I'm trying to, right? And that works against me. So I make the decision to not have that here. So I'm going to do what I need to do to create solitude so I can charge up at 100% and put myself in a really, this is a time to really be healthy, cultivate health. And when the health goes up, the wealth goes up. So this is going to be a time where we have the opportunity to get it and increase. This card says body and soul, and it's card number 5. So I would really work on the body and the soul, work on listening to the inner self, making decisions for the inner self, right? When we said that, wish upon a star, and the hands are on the heart here. How am I feeling? How do I feel about this? Nothing or nobody else, but how do I feel? And the Muse card comes up often because when you know how you feel, then you can move in that. You can move through that. It's never quite easy, but these are the things that make it easier. And a lot of us are working on moving forward in our steps, and we're seeking guidance in everything that we do. So when we feel those indecisions, we can feel like we're out of alignment, or we're out of tune, or we're out of rhythm. But truly, that's just Spirit saying, can you go within and see me now? Because I'm changing from minute and moment and second, time by time, space by space. I'm changing. So Spirit is calling us to move into ourselves more often. And it's going to be somewhat of a beautiful experience. So Leo season, I feel like is going to, or this Leo moon, not Leo moon and Leo season is really going to boost and project us forward. So this is a time too to kind of start looking at your goals. Look at your goals. When's the last time you set goals? What are the ones that are set? Did you accomplish? Do your review right now. Does anybody have any questions or anything to share? Maybe goals that they see manifesting now? Does anybody have anything to share about what they were receiving during the sounds, as the sounds were playing? All right. Well, in your emails, a lot of you received your PDFs, and in those PDFs, there were some messages there, but there were also questions. So I would take some time to go through those questions and do some journaling as you go through your reflection. This card here says transition. So prepare for a lot of transition, prepare for some changes. And I think as I expressed before, we spoke about sudden. So some things you can't necessarily prepare for, you can just be in alignment and know that the plan was already in place. So it might be something sudden to you because you weren't thinking that necessarily, and then boom, it catches your attention, but it was always there and set for you with no questions or no doubts. The solitude card came out again. So solitude is really, really important right now. No questions asked on that either. Or these transitions can put you into a place of solitude. That can also be something I see here. There are transitions that can place you into a moment of solitude, the feeling of solitude. We're going to end there. If nobody has any questions, I want to personally thank Celeste for the sounds played today. The energy was like vibrating through my room, and I was even smiling and laughing. I just felt good in my spirit. I hope you guys felt good in your spirit, and maybe even take time to catch yourself smiling and laughing more often. You know, finding yourself in like a child play more often, finding humor in things, not taking things so seriously, um, playing sounds to yourself more often, you know, things like that. Because I felt myself smile, and those memories are really good. They trigger much more. Ashe?
Ashe, thank you. Thank you all for coming and letting me hold this space for you all.
Ashe, I love y'all.
Love you all too. Have a good night.
I love you too.